4 of the Dunlop Fiat Uno Championship was part of the RAC Super Prix meeting at Mondello, organised by the MG Car Club. On a dirty day at the County Kildare circuit, we catch up with the numero uno of this one-make formula, Liam Denning, who's unbeaten in these crazy little racers this year.
Yeah, at long last we're going very well this year. Car's going very well, I can't complain at all.
What is it, 4 wins now?
Yeah, 4 wins this year. Yeah, been put back to the 3 places every race, but seem to do very well every time, yeah.
Gilbert, congratulations, you're going very quickly in the wet.
Yeah, not too bad. I enjoy the wet.
Now, did you take up motor racing with the Unos?
Just with the Unos, yeah. Yeah, started it.
Sort of midlife crisis cure, was it?
Yeah, before the electric chair, the electric chair, so I said I'd give it a go. That's been very enjoyable, you know.
Can I ask what age you are?
50.
Brilliant.
We just have to get the car set up properly today. The last day we were out, we had trouble in the wet, but we worked hard through the week and it seemed to be going well for us now.
It looks like you're on the front row of the grid.
I think so, yeah. Liam has to go back a few places, I think, because he won the last race, so I think I'm on the front row anyway, hopefully.
Sean Woods then on pole position with a camera looking backwards. Alongside him, Nigel Pratt looking forwards, again on the front row of the grid. On the second row of the grid, that's Liam Denning, the championship leader. And then back about the 4th or 5th row, we've got Eugene Heary. 10 laps lie ahead for these tormented little tin-tops, and off they go, heading towards turn 1. We're with Liam Denning, who shoots through from the second row, and it looks like he's heading to the lead as they come down. Now we're with Nigel Pratt in the pack. So, Denning trying to go round the outside. Woods is in second place. It looked like Noble in third place there as they head off into the country the first time. Again, we're the leader. And looking back now from Sean Woods in second place. Yes, it is Noble. And we're right back in the pack now. And just ahead of them, there's Michael Leonard Jr. there, bouncing over the curbs. So Denning leads. Woods is second. Noble is third at the moment. That's him just ahead of us now. Gets a tap. Round he goes. And there's consternation behind him. This is great stuff. The little Fiat Unos who really produce close racing. One-make formula, of course. We're with Eugene Heary, looking a little bit relaxed at the moment as he changes down gear for the left-hander, but he's in a very fraught spot indeed. Liam Rabbit just on his left, Michael Leonard Jr. just ahead of him. Rabbit goes round. Leonard's going to go into him. Somebody else is involved there. Absolute Armageddon down at the bottom of the hill. That's Carl O'Donoghue in the STP car that seems to be okay, seems to have escaped. Surprising little damage. One stuck in the sand trap on the outside there. But no bother to Liam Denning, who has quite a comfortable lead now from Sean Woods, Greg Fairley, then Nigel Pratt, Clark Pratt and Barry Barrable in the yellow car. So, the 2 Pratt brothers from Carlo Barrable trying to nudge up the inside there, a little bit ungentlemanly. We are now back with third place man Nigel Pratt, who is following at the moment Greg Fairley, whose brother, of course, is quite a star in the Dunlop Saloon Car Championship. So, surprisingly spread out now, the first 4, but of course there's a World War III going on behind Nigel, and I think he got a little bit of a nudge there. You could feel the car going sideways. A little more contact. That's Carl O'Donoghue, number 42. He's really been in the wars. He's been off the circuit, or has had moments in twice in 2 laps. Typical Fiat stuff. Here comes the leader at the bottom of the hill, coming up towards the final corner on this track. So, Liam, who's had a tremendous season. He's won 3 times so far, and there just on the outside, Greg Fairley, somebody trying to dive down the inside. It was our man Clive Pratt, in fact, it is going through ahead of Nigel Pratt, so he makes up a place as they come down the main straight. So there's Clive Pratt in the blue and white car, and Nigel Pratt in the red and white car. And right behind him, Barry Barrable. We're back with Nigel at the moment as they're very, very late on the brakes down into turn 1. Greg Fairley just ahead of these 2. Across towards the other apex, doing about probably 55, 60 miles an hour here, let her drift out. But the real battles are back for about 10th place. Number 23 just goes to the screen there. Stephen Kellett trying to go down the inside there. And, oh dear, Stephen's gone round. He's out of it. No problems though for Liam Denning. He's way out in front now as he heads back into the main arena. Cocking the inside wheel, typical Fiat fashion. Sean Woods there in second place in the Calabar car, then Thurley, and then Clive Pratt and Nigel Pratt in that order. Quite a little battle then going on for third place as the first two go away. And Barry Barrable in the background there looking fairly threatening, and indeed Noble has caught up the pack again after his first lap dramas. So accelerating down the main straight, and Thurley is falling back into the jaws now of Clive Pratt. And look at Barrable there, the second of these two cars. Barry Barrable, who is very much a front runner again in Dunlop touring cars, has moved back down. And there's somebody who's missing a lot of bodywork. Rebecca Griffin, number 80. That's no way to treat a lady. And meanwhile, out in front, there's a car just stranded on the racing line. Now that could cause problems. And now 99 in difficulties. That's Quinton Wall. He commutes from the States to race in Ireland. And the other man that was in the middle of that was Mark Regan. Regan just been puffed out of that little piece of drama. So off they go. No major damage done, except that Wall is stranded there, and I think they'll have to bring out the red flags, and indeed they have. So the race is stopped. It'll be rerun in a part 2. Liam Denning sees the red flag, comes to a halt. Marshall's just kicking away the debris there, and we'll restart the race, and then of course it's on aggregate time. So away they go again. Sean Woods making the better start. Liam Denning back in the second row. This is because of the slightly odd rules that they have that handicap people. So Sean Woods, number 10 in the Calabar car. In second place is Nigel Pratt, and in third place Liam Denning, the danger man, just trying to nuzzle his way through. We see Rebecca Griffin's car, despite its lack of front and rear bodywork, competing in the second race. That's lucky for her. But look at this battle. Denning is the danger man, number 15 there, putting pressure on Nigel Pratt, trying to come down the inside. Nigel, I think, has left it a bit wide. That's leaving, as they say, a barn door open in motor racing. Carl O'Donoghue's in there also in the STP car as they stream across the curbs as usual and back into the main arena. So Sean Woods has a nice lead, but Danger Man is probably already closing on him now. Liam Denning then. Very tricky conditions, as you can see. The wipers on from time to time. On intermittent wipe there, we saw Nigel Pratt actually in problems going up on the inside there, going very, very slowly indeed. He seems to have a problem. Barry Barrable going across his bows. And we're with now second place man bidding for the lead as they come down into turn 1, and it's raining now quite heavily. And looking back from Sean Wood's car, you can see that it's all happening. There is Denning really challenging. Number 15, the current championship leader, comes up alongside. We're on board with him now. Great stuff this as we go down into turn 3. And Denning, number 15, behind him is Sean Woods. Denning has got the lead. Sean Woods goes sideways. Carl O'Donoghue trying to go up a place. Surely he can take advantage of that. And somebody off on the outside there, 81, Ernie Richardson. That's way back in turn 1, between turn 1 and turn 2. So he was out of it anyway. And you can see now from Eugene Heary's car that it's really raining quite heavily. His car, he either got a tap or he just lost it there. He's a vicious moment, really wrestling with the wheel there. Not the place to do it, because this is a nasty corner, right off on the dirt. And really that's a long, long moment. And there's the problem alongside him. And that was the Nace Court Hotel car of Michael Leonard Jr. And he's really in the wars, Eugene Heary. He's not a happy man. It's another one of the Pratts. And there's Thurley in amongst that. And he really got the blunt end of the trouble there. Carl O'Donoghue bidding for second momentarily, but not for long. Sean Woods has got it back. Great stuff indeed. We move ahead, and we move ahead with the leader, Liam Denning, who once again hits the front. Really, can anybody stop this man this year? There he is. Look at the enormous lead. Settle down a little bit now as we come to the closing stages. Sean Wood in second place. Carl O'Donoghue, very good recovery drive for him. Then Gilbert McFarland. Denning coming up past the start-finish line, down the long straight. very late on the brakes. Quite a distance looking back from Sean Wood's car, who's in second place. Between him and third now, it's all pulled out a little bit. Denning cocking the inside wheel as he goes through turn two and out into the country. This is the fastest part of the course and also one of the trickiest. Double apex entry here. Used to be a big bump there. It's now been evened out. And he really has to play it very, very gingerly in these conditions. Just very smooth, which is not what could be said for Eugene Heary at the moment, who's wrestling it with his motor car and goes around, does he? Very sideways in the menu car. He just holds on to it, and I get the feeling that there must be a flat tire or a bit of suspension disarray there. Gilbert McFarlane now challenging for third place in the dying stages of this race. Number 9 there, coming up behind Carl O'Donoghue in the STP car, but I don't think there's going to be any change there. Gilbert trying on the outside. Great goer for a 50-year-old racer. So it looks like Liam Denning's going to take the checkered flag. Sean Woods is going to be in second place. Who's going to be third? Gilbert McFarlane or Carl O'Donoghue? It's Carl O'Donoghue on the podium. That's the finishing order. Clean sweep now, is it?
I hope so. Going very well this year. Maybe a lot to do with Steve Griffin as well.
You must be way out ahead in the championship.
Yeah, I had 4 wins in the championship, so I'm well on now, yeah.
Amy, who was second today?
It's an old.
Well, I'll tell you. Your dad. Are you pleased?
Yeah.
She's got the overalls, but she wouldn't be too much good as a sports reporter.
No, there's no doubt. No, she stays quiet. She's a bit like myself.
A quiet man, but only 4 points behind the 4 times winner, Liam Denning.
Welcome to Mondello Park for the 7th round of the Dunlop Fiat Uno Championship. This highly competitive one-make series is still oversubscribed, with qualifying races necessary. Liam Denning arrives with a 19-point lead over its second man Sean Woods, and Barry Barrable in third place, there he is only 2 points behind. But it's all hot and heavy in these Fiats. A one-make series, as we said, engines fairly the same, maybe a little bit, but scary, and sometimes very hairy as they head for the grass. There's some of our newcomers, Kavanagh, but the one-make series, the most successful in Ireland so far, well in its 3rd season. And today, you'll see from the pit lane, we are going the wrong way around.
Now, this is more like it. I reckon I could just about handle one of these things. It's a saloon car, so it looks somewhat familiar. Maybe not. Liam Denning, where are my car mats, my visors, my stereo? How do you even manage to get into this thing?
You don't need these things for motor racing.
My goodness. Okay, so what do you have to do to make this car ready for the track?
Then you strip out all the inside, and then the cars are all set standards, as in everybody in the same class has the exact same thing. And we change the suspensions, and then we change the engine and gearbox.
And everything else besides, by the looks of it.
Yeah, everything else goes away, yeah, to keep the weight down.
It's fantastic. You're doing extremely well so far.
Yeah, I'm having a lucky year this year. We're doing very well.
And what do you want to do now today? Obviously you want to tie it all up, and
then if everything goes great today, we should tie up the championship today. With a few small problems this morning in practice, but with a bit of luck we'll be ready for the race this afternoon.
Well, the best of luck to you.
Thanks very much, Lorraine.
Quinton Wall there, number 99, one of the most improved drivers this year.
Quinton, how many seasons have you been in the Fiat Unos now?
This is my second one.
Going very well. A great race at Kirkuson there a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it's improving. It's coming along slow. Yeah, but I'm relatively happy. We're not quite so quick here. Yesterday in practice was pretty slow, so my hopes are tempered for tomorrow, or for today, so we'll see.
Now, obviously, from your accent, you don't spend all your time in Ireland.
No, I grew up in the U.S., then I moved to Canada about 15, 18 years ago, and then over here about 3 years ago. So I'm back and forth between the U.S. and Ireland. I try to pick the right seasons. You know, if it's winter, I try to be in Florida a little more, and if it's summer, here.
So have you retired at this stage?
Well, I'm unemployed at least, yeah. I'll have to do a real job again one day.
So motor racing is the big hobby?
It's the big hobby, yeah. But I've got a whole bunch of other interests too, so keep me busy.
And Quinton does well. He qualifies in 7th position the wrong way round in Mondello. And in 6th place is Sean Woods. And then beside him, number 98 is Barry Barrable, a man to watch. Then we have Gilbert McFarlane. Beside him, the championship leader, Liam Denning. But up on the front row, we have Mark Cuff, who must have had an extra Weetabix today, and on pole position in the new All Sports Cafe livery, Michael Cullen. So that's our grid. We're ready for the start, and watch for fireworks. Heading the wrong direction. About the Marshal's waving his hands. The lights, in fact, the flag will drop. You can see Denning moving over there. A little bit of bumping and boarding with Barry, but Denning really closing the door, gets caught on the bumper, spins it out. McFarland around the outside, and also Sean Woods. So Barrable losing out there, and Nigel Pratt just diving down the inside. And where's Griffin? It says Quinn on the car, but it's actually one of the Griffins in there who built this car for a lad called Quinn. And we have a red flag, and this is the first of our red flags. Ronnie Griffin there out of the car, perfectly all right. You see it again up there, everybody going up on the inside. He just gets up high on the grass, all on his own, not a lot of contact, and puts it straight onto its roof. But let us look at that real start again. We're on board here with Gilbert McFarlane. Good start from Cullen. He's into 3rd place, waving his fist as he gets a little nudge, straightens it up, gets out on the outside, but that almost slows him to a stop and lets the two away. Now we're on board with Barrable. Gets a great start, beginning to push his way between McFarlane and Denning. Denning moves over, catches the back. Well done, Barry. He missed him, but he's lost a place there to Woods as they zoom around the outside of him, head down towards the S's. Remember, the wrong way around. This is our second start. Go. A great start again from Barry. You can see from our onboard out around the outside he goes. Just a little catch. Gets a little nudge there. I think that was from Denning, but again it's Mark Cuff and Cullen. Look at this from on board here. Denning again just attacking Barrable there, and also Rebecca Griffin. She's spinning out, and that is like Vietnam down there on the outside of the Essel. So Denning, our championship leader, out in the sand trap at the moment. But at the moment, Michael Cullen leading as they go out into the country, and these two have pulled a short gap there, and Sean Woods, Barrable having a look at that inside. Then it's Nigel Pratt, then Gilbert McFarlane. We're on board with Barrable. He's looking right on the back of Woods' car, and you can see the gap the two lads are pulling. Mark Cuff at the moment, as I said, that extra Weetabix this morning really helping. Cullen not getting away. In fact, Cuff closing on him as they come into the main area. The last turn is a hairpin, and look at the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. Everybody bunched together. Again, Barry taking a bite out of Sean Woods' car as they head down the straight. And I do believe in the up front that Cuff is alongside. I think Mark Cuff has got alongside Michael Cullen as they head up towards the first turn. That's Cuff on the inside. This will be his first big one. He's won many of the qualifying races, but he's just about to lead the main thing. And a little hand signal there from Michael to say, yes, I'm in 2nd position. But on board there again with Sean Woods. And these two remarkably getting well. That is Barry Barrable sitting on Woods. They're fighting for 3rd place. Cullen having a look at the inside. Not enough room. He doesn't touch him, but Mark Cuff, in fairness, has the bottle to go out wide. Quentin Wall there on the grass in number 99 while everybody else streams by. But in fairness, Mark driving very well, leaving that door open, but confident enough that he has the power to pull away from Michael Cullen. Again, Barrable in the wars. He's hanging on the back of Sean Woods there, and in the front you can see the two lads. Now we're back here with McFarland, and that's Nigel Pratt up front as they're heading down into this very, very quick right-hander. There's our leader, Mark Cuff, then it's Cullen, then Sean Woods. Then it's Barry again, just catching the back of Woods' car. I don't think Woods will be too impressed with this, but again, he didn't keep the boot in. You can see the passenger door of Barry's car there, really on ribbon. So this has been hot and heavy. Having a look at that inside line, Nigel Pratt. We're jumping ahead to the 4th lap, of which unfortunately is the finest lap because we have another road out in this race. But at this stage, Cuff, I'm sure he will be absolutely devastated to see the red flag because he has a 3-4 car length lead on the rest of them. The big changes were that McFarlane has got by Pratt and Barrable has got up into 3rd place. As they go through the S's here, and you can see that Barrable beginning to make inroads on Michael Cullen, but unfortunately Paul Riley brings the whole thing to a stop. Off he goes into the sand, catches the bank. We're going to look at that again, slightly slow, red flag out, slows the race down and stops it. gets off, everything is good, he hits the bank, not a quick heavy roll, but unfortunately when he's releasing his seat belts, when the marshals are there, he drops in the seat, which we're going to see now. Unfortunately, the marshal just gets to him too late and he does himself a slight injury. After 2 red flags, this race has been abandoned and some of the drivers' tempers are frayed.
Barry, some pretty harsh words in there, and 2 drivers has actually specifically named you as a part of some rough driving tactics.
Yeah, well, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinion. As far as I can see it, on the start of the race, I made a good start, and I went in between the 2 guys going into the first corner, and basically when we came out of the corner, we were door to door, and the car on my inside sort of pulled forward a bit, and as he pulled over on me, it naturally enough I went into a spin situation, and I spun him around. There's nothing I could do about it, you know. But I'm sure if I was at fault or whatever, I would have been excluded by the officials, or a black flag or something would have been put out. It was just a racing incident as far as I'm concerned.
And unfortunately today's race was a non-event because we had no results. So the championships stay as they were on the screen there after round 6. We've shown you the starts, the 2 starts. We've shown them from the outside, from the backside, and we've shown them from the inside. So we leave it to you to decide. But there is a saying in the Uno camp and in Uno racing, if you're going to make omelettes, you've got to break eggs, and someone's going to get hurt.
This is about the straightest Fiat Uno I could find in what could only be described as a crazy year in the Dunlop Fiat Uno class. Vietnams, they used to be called, and even that conflict only looked like a minor skirmish compared to some of the sights that we saw this year. Now, take a look at this one. It's the new Fiat Punto Racer, and it may be the last time you'll see it in such an immaculate state, as the Punto will replace the Uno in the top Fiat class in 1998. Brian Chute has been talking to this one's creator.
Ken, from the Unos to the Puntos, what is this cost going to be?
Roughly cost if you about 10 to 12,000 pounds for a brand new car. It would depend basically on your base car to start off with.
But when you go into the car, we're talking about a 1400 engine. Can we play with the engine?
It will be a 1400 TPO engine with a camshaft, race cam, 4-branch manifold exhaust, bigger carburetor, hopefully producing about 120 brake horsepower. The way it is at the moment, we've about 10 to 15 drivers talking about making the change. We just have to basically wait for a couple of weeks just to finalise all the technical regulations, and then we'll know for definite.
The Puntos are for next year, but we're still with the Unos, and don't wreck them all, boys, as there'll also be a class for the remains in 1998.
It's Liam Denning who's on pole position, the 5-second board ready to go on the outside, the old man himself of this racing, Barry Barabin. A great start for Barry. We're looking out the back of Barry's car, but look at Michael Cullen up alongside Denning. Is he going to slot into second? Out the outside it's Gilbert Farland, then it's Sean Wood, and it's Uno racing again.
And they're all on their best behaviour today because there's been severe lectures from the clerk of the course of the MG Car Club. We're aboard with Gilbert McFarland. No chicken, it can be said, in racing terms, but a very, very sprightly man when it comes to being on the track.
And Barry Barable, another man who's put his name down for the Puntos next year, and I'm sure that a few of these lads in the Unos will be delighted to see him go out of it because he's on a flyer at the moment. A couple of car lengths. Paul O'Reilly in there, the man who roofed it at the last Mondello, but look all how close they are. But coming down, Barable at the moment in the Aidan Fields car. Aidan, who looks after brother Michael's car as well, busy all year but produces some great machinery. 97 there, that was Michael Cullen as they just nipped you. There's 2 all sports cafes cars out there, so don't get confused if you see one down the back.
So there we are, and indeed they're neither very far down the back because 97, as you say, is Michael Cullen, and 99 is Quinton Wall, who qualified extremely well for this race. We're aboard, we're at the back at the moment with Becky Griffin.
Becky Griffin just catching, coming out heading for PJ Lawler, but we're back on board now with Sean Woods, who's really catching Michael Cullen, and in the background there, as Alan said, Quinton, who's come up from a very good position. Nigel Pratt having a look at the inside, and a little nudge there saying hello, I'm here. Carl O'Donoghue going through there, so it's Nigel Pratt and Carl O'Donoghue side by side, but Quinton Wall has pulled away from them.
So there's the leader, Barry Barable, 98 in second place, the man who will be champion if he stays there. And we watch them streaming past our curb camera, the little 1300cc Unos who can go around this track in extremely good times, lapping in about 1 minute 10 seconds. Incredible, considering they're on Dunlop road tyres.
Yes, and up that inside and keeping that inside line tight to Joseph. McFarlane has got by Cullen now, so it's McFarlane up into third place, then Cullen, then we have Sean Woods who's looking for that fourth place. That's Carl O'Donoghue. A little bit out on the dust there is Nigel Pratt, and in the background Mark Cuff and Quinton Wall beginning to have a ding-dong of a dice, but in between them is Clive Pratt, so everybody beginning to bunch up a little bit, but they're not going slow up front. That's Mark Cuff and the Marks Models car just nipping inside Nigel. Back on with Rebecca Griffin, PJ Lawler, that's Paul O'Reilly I think it is, or it is indeed. We're back here now with Sean Woods. We've so many back here that you can't work out which camera, but I know whose that is, and that is Griffin, and we were looking at him out to the windscreen of this one.
So the calibre car of Sean Woods, we're now looking back, in fact, from the leading car, which is Barry Barrable, looking back at Liam Denning, the new champion, if he manages to get to the end of this one. There's Quinton Wall, number 99, number 18. That is Nigel Pratt, one of the three Pratt brothers from Carlow who have been stalwarts in this Fiat Uno class right from its conception.
McFarlane there, number 9, beginning to pull away now, and inside again, Nigel Pratt just getting inside Quinton Wall. A nice movement out there goes Carl O'Donoghue, going very wide indeed. And Mark Cuff moving up, O'Donoghue tucking in behind Quinton Wall as they go down the straight, but Nigel just getting away at the moment, just getting that little head as they come down. He's looking at the inside out, very late on the brakes indeed, almost ran into the back of him, but I think Nigel, one of them is a good panel beater, one of them Pat, so it doesn't bother them. The odd little touch from another Uno. Mark's Model's getting through there, and this field there are dices all the way down through. The only place we haven't got a dice at the moment is our leader. He seems to have pulled that few car lengths.
99, Quinton Wall and the All Sports Cafe team, very dominant now in both the Fiat Uno class and indeed the touring class. Indeed, big bills to pay after the damage they did at Phoenix Park. Looking at the leader.
And that was on board there, sorry Alan, with Gilbert McFarlane. He's holding that third place, but you can see, as I said, out front Barry leaning over nicely in the cockpit, under no pressure, no paint being swapped, no onboards with him today, no banging, but you see Denning just down there just trying as hard as he could, and these two actually, the two of them are pulling away.
And Denning a little bit closer that time, but by lap 9 it's the gap has moved out again. Gilbert McFarlane just coming over the hill, still there in third place, still under pressure from Michael Cullen and Sean Woods, who we're aboard with now in the calibre car.
Yes, Sean, having a look at the inside of Cullen's car. The next one is a left-hander, but he should have the quickest line through it, so it should be nice to go now. This is the battle between Mark Cuff and Quinton Wall. Two of the cars painted much the same, well checked out. That's Gilbert McFarlane. Behind him there's Cullen, and behind Cullen there's Sean Woods, and that's where you were looking at from the front of those cars. Then it's Nigel Pratt who's beginning to slowly catch up on these three.
And of course, with identical cars, it's very, very difficult to make ground. You really got to be neat and tidy and fast and late on the brakes. And getting very, very sideways that time was Michael Cullen. And there's Liam Rabbit, comes in to retire.
The grass there almost covering Liam. You see a lot of dust there. That's probably where he went off. McFarlane keeping that inside line close. He took Sean Woods having a look at that same piece of tarmac that Michael Cullen was hanging into, but these two having a serious battle as they come down again on board with Rebecca Griffin as she just gets back out onto the tail of PJ Lawler as she heads down the straight. So back there, that is the third place man, then Cullen fourth. So out front it is still Barrable from Denning. You can see there Gilbert McFarlane, then Michael Cullen. We're on board there with Sean Woods as Liam Rabbit takes the helmet off because his work is over for today.
And the leader comes up to shoot past him, second place. Liam Denning keeping out of trouble, heading for the championship, his first championship, and that'll be a very big celebration this evening for the Dubliner. Barrable then, a man who's been in all kinds of saloon car racing, came back to the Unos this year, and his brother of course is racing also in the rallies.
And it's Eugene Hero and Andrew McKinney there trying to swap paint. Both of them are white. Oh, not again. Paul Riley, we have seen you on your roof, on your side, in the sand, and now you're in the grass.
Paul Riley having a very fraught year indeed. and I'm sure requiring all those sponsors to fix his car after each outing. So here's the battle for third. Classic Uno stuff. And if you were to combine the ages of the man in third place and the man in fifth place at the moment, you wouldn't be far off the century.
Well, the man in third place, just a quick glance in the mirror coming down there, kept that inside line nicely closed. I don't think there's anything Cullen do, but Sean Woods just taking a bite. He either took a bite out of the back of Michael's car or just clipped the curb, one or the other, but he hasn't given up yet. There's still that third place between the three of them it is. Cullen, a nice look down the inside. If he even steps out 2 feet, I can tell you, Michael Cullen be down that inside as he's doing now. He's just let it drift slowly wide. He's up along. Now the next one is a left-hander, and Woods is thinking of making it 3 abreast as they come down to the S. We can see it's a long way around the outside. We're on board with McFarlane. He keeps that inside line. He's not doing anything except protecting, but Michael has to drop back. Just doesn't have the legs to, but you can see that all that time Woods having a bite. His body comes up the hill, and in the background that is the 4 abreast, 4 of them together now.
And Gilbert McFarlane did well to defend that position that time, because he's against the very experienced Michael Cullen, who we can just see to the right of us there, number 97. And now we're with Sean Woods and Nigel Pratt just waiting for something to happen. And how nice it is to see these Fiat Unos fighting so closely and so cleanly.
Well, cleanly they are. The odd little nudge and bump, but it's not like, as we call it, a professional foul. Now Woods getting in as close as he can on that inside. So we might lose a wing mirror. They're side by side. They're going to go through this left-hander. Cullen just got the advantage. Keeps him out onto the rumble strip, but that will slow him down a little. But look at Cullen down that outside, and Pratt's beginning to go another 3 of us. Michael doesn't back off. Is Woods going to get up that inside? He is indeed, with feet to spare. Remember, this is what Michael Cullen did to him the last time.
And Gilbert McFarlane's made a little break. You just see him ahead of us there. Sean Woods not in 4th place, because I think Michael Cullen's on our inside here. Yes, there he is. Michael Cullen and his Pratt going to go through again. Woods was vulnerable there.
Now, once you try that manoeuvre, you better make sure, if you're going to not put it off, that you get the door firmly closed, with the man sitting in the background like Nigel Pratt, just waiting for it to happen. So Barrowby wins this well-organised MG Car Club Uno race. From Denning, from McFarlane, Cullen and Woods.
I got a good start, got Liam on the start. We were expecting greater things at the first corner, but nothing happened, and yeah, I pulled out a lead, and I think Liam gave me a bit of breathing space and backed off towards the end. So yeah, Sunday drive really.
Today I got a very bad start, and I thought I might get Barry in the first or second lap, but couldn't do anything on it, so I just eased off then, I wanted to get a second place finish.